I'm Deb Higuera. I'm principal here at Ludlow Elementary School. Sweethearts and Heroes was a group that I first encountered when I was principal at Manchester Elementary Middle School. So when Sweethearts and Heroes reached out to me here at Ludlow Elementary School, I thought it was a phenomenal opportunity to be able to bring them in and have them work with our kindergartner through sixth graders here at Ludlow Elementary School. My hope anytime we present an assembly is that takeaways for students are things that they can apply to their real life, and Sweethearts and Heroes makes it very easy for kids to understand what bullying is, and they talk about the ABCs of things that they can do to take away and things that they can practice. So they help students actually practice those skills, and I hope that students are able to apply those skills in their everyday life.
That's right, I am in a sport where you can do all of those things at one time, wrestling and boxing and karate, but that's not why I'm a champion. I'm a champion because of how I treat other people. I don't care who someone's mom is, I don't care who their dad is, I don't care what they look like, I don't even care what they smell. Now that sounds a little bit silly, but I treat everyone that I meet like they are a champion. And that's some of the stuff we're going to talk about here today. How you can be a champion because how you treat other people. But since I like sports so much, I didn't get a chance yesterday to work out. So I kind of wanted to see who the fastest kid in the room is. Where's the fastest one? You got to show me. You got to point to the one that's the fastest. Which one's the fastest? I'm starting pretty fast here. All right, man, get up here. Shoot. Now, what's your name? What? Cam. Nice to meet you, Mr. Perry. How about the fastest young lady in the room? Where's she at? Now, you got to point. You got to show me which one's the fastest. Which one? I don't think she wants to come up here. She this one pretty fast. Let's see. I don't know. This one getting a lot of votes right here. I guess it's you. Come on up here. I don't know if this front seat's good. Oh, okay. Good. Now, hold on. You stand right here. What's your name? Ari? Mr. Incredible, nice to meet you. Ouch! Shoot. Now, Ari, Cam. Now, hold on a minute. I don't know about this, but hold on. Wait, I actually forgot my running shoes. Darn it. I got a better idea. Ari, Cam, you ever raced a world champion before? Well, you're about to. Because I'm actually a world champion in the ABCs. And since we're in school and I forgot my running shoes, hold on a minute, Cam. We'll see who can say the ABCs faster. I actually hold the world record right now, Ari. Now listen. Now I know Cam's not quite buying this, but listen. I'll get my iPhone right there, I'll time myself, and I'll go world championship speed. Then I'll give you a shot. And Cam, if you can say it faster than me, I'll give you that. You cool? Just hold on a minute. Hold on. And now, Cam, don't be practicing. I see what you're doing. Now, hold on. Now listen, Cam. After Cam goes, we got to give Ari a shot. And if she can say it faster than both of us, I'll give her the $100 bill. Deal? Deal? Let me get my iPhone. All right, now hold on. Now hold on a second. Hold on a second. It's the ABC, so you gotta listen. And don't worry about this, educators. I'm a trained professional. I know exactly what I'm doing. All right. And now just hold on a minute. Now, Cam, all right. Don't be practicing, yeah? That's what you're doing. Now listen. When you go to world championships, there's a couple of rules. We gotta have a couple of rules. Now, number one, Cam, it's gotta be articulate. You know what that means? That That means they got to be able to understand the letters. You can't just go blah, 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 blah. You got it? All right. Number 2. Got to be in English. No funny business. All right. I'm working on them in a different language right now, but this round is in English. You agree to the rules? You agree to the rules? Oh. Yeah? I need a verbal. Are you saying the same way I said? Same way? I need a verbal. Okay. I don't want you to yell at me afterwards and say you didn't say that. All right. Now you heard, educators. All 26 letters in English articulate the same way I said. Here we go. Now you come in here and you watch because I don't want you to say I cheated. All right, here we go. World Championship speed. The same way I said. Hey! The champion always warms up first. Here we go. Quiet in a second. Quiet in a second. Here we go. ZXWUTSRQPRMKJSTMPCBA. 2.26 backwards. Who's going first? Whoa, you said you said. No, you said the same way I said, remember? Didn't they say that, teachers? The same way. Who's going first? Okay, hold on a minute. I know I'm a little bit too much of an ABC champ, so let me do it one more time. I'll slow it down, Cam. All right, I'll give you a fighting chance. In order to get the $100, you got to say it like this. ZYXWVUTSRQPONMLKJIHDFEDCBA. 5.92 backwards. Who's going first? All right, let me get over here. All right, Tim. In order to get the $100, you got to go 5.92 backwards. Here we go. On your mark. Get it set. Go.
CPA.
So listen, I got a dinner. What grade are you in? What grade? Oh my God, I've never fixed 600 students. I'd be in trouble here. All right, well, actually through different schools, right? I got a dinner. How about we just do the big deal away? All right, now, no money this time. You have to stay back when you get the money. We'll do it for bragging rights, and we'll see who can say it faster, the third grade or not. Oh, that'll be real fun. Now, listen. All right, Ken. Since I'm a champion, I like challenges. So let me add a little difficulty. Take two of those and two on top. 1, 2. Come on, bro. This is serious stuff here. All right, now listen. Now get over here, Ken. Come here. Now, Ken, is some serious stuff here. You represent all the fourth graders! Yeah. Go you. Now listen. Now remember what I said, Cam. Gotta be articulate. All right, Cam. I call this one the warm-up round. All right. A to Z as fast as you can, Cam. On your mark. Get set. Go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
3 points up, go! That's a tough time to beat right there. 3.77 for all the third graders! All right, there we go. On your mark, Holly. Get set. Go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
3.77. 3.40! Two more. Let's go, man. Need 'em. Come on. Now listen, man. Come on. Just come on, man. Let's go. Come on, dude. Get him in there. Here we go. Now listen. 5%, please. 5%. Now, bro, you ready? Now hold on a minute. 5% here. Now listen, bro. Say it. Don't spray it, okay? I just got this certain thing. Now you got to do a deposit. Do it right there. All right, here we go. Round number 2. On your mark, man. Get set. Go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
Good mark, everyone! I never seen that roll that bad before. Get over here, Alex. All right, you got it everywhere. All right. All right, on your mark. Round number 2, get set. Go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
4.50. Bro, you look like you're gonna explode. Should we just call it a tie? All right, we're gonna call it a tie. Put those in there. Give up, little ninja. All right, give me up, big head. All right, see you. I'm gonna do one more. I can't worry with third and fourth grade. Give my man Cam a big head. Give him all a big head. No, you have to say it backwards to get the money. You got to pay attention. All right. Shoot, I was going to do one more round. Usually 5th and 6th graders, I do. They didn't put their hands up in the air. Put your hand down. All right. Now, educators, teachers. All right, hands down, hands down, hands down. Maybe next time you put their hands up and I look for the fastest ones. All right, educators. I just believe that taking fun out of education might be called abuse. Kids like that fun, that's how they learn best. And the funny thing is, educators, that's how most of you learn best as well. That's what the science supports. We're going to have some more fun here in just a bit, students, but right now it's time to be mindful. They told me, they said you can't come in here and just eat a bunch of marshmallows and talk about mixed martial arts and call it a presentation. They said we need you to teach them something. And like I said, I promise we're going to have some more fun, but as I just said, right now it's time to be mindful. And what they asked me to come here and talk to you about, students, was this thing called bullying. Now, whenever I get together with young people, educators, I do like to hear from them first because I get to learn something. So if I were to say bullying is, who might give me an example of something that someone might do to someone that might look like bullying? Marshmallow Queen? Oh, that's a great one. Calling someone names might look like bullying. And what do you think, my man? Punching someone might look like bullying. And I'll have a hard time hearing. And what do you think? Tripping someone might look like bullying. And what do you think? Saying mean words to someone might look like bullying. And what do you think? Hitting someone. Okay, hands down. I'm going to ask another question here in just a second. This is fascinating to me, educators. If I went around this room, what you'd find is that every single individual has their own unique perspective on what they believe bullying might look like. Now my job, students, my responsibility is to get everyone in here on the same page, because we can't defeat anything that we don't understand. When I say the word bullying, your teacher says it, or your parents say it, or you're on television, a lot of young people think it's something that might look a little bit silly. They might think about a big guy chasing a little guy home from school, pushing him up against the locker, stealing their lunch money. What I found is that most young people don't truly know what bullying is. I found some educators don't know what it is. So my job, like I said, is to get everyone in here on the same page. Now bullying is made up of 4 things. How many? 4. And the first one I'm going to say kind of quietly, and I'm only going to say it one time, and I'm not going to repeat myself. And I did hear from a whole bunch of my friends here, but I'm going to say it a little bit different. In order for something to be bullying, number 1, it has to be mean or tyranny. Gosh, you okay? I scared myself a little bit. It has to be mean or educators. Understand this. Teachers, 170,000 students skip school every day in North America because they're afraid. This here teacher is truly the signature of bullying. It's not 2 students not getting along, 1 student even getting upset. It's truly fear, it's intimidation. And I heard a lot of things that might be beautiful. Tripping someone, calling someone names, hitting someone, those things might be bullying. Now number 2, in order for it to be bullying, it has to happen over and over again. Now, you're a teacher. Well, you look kind of young, so I didn't know. You're welcome. Anyway, I'm going to need your help in just a second. Now let's see here. Let's see. Now, what's your name? Connor. Now, do you still know how to pretend? Okay, well, you get older, you forget these things. Now, Connor, can I pretend to be mean to you? Okay, let's pretend. I'm just pretending, bro. Anyway, let's pretend I never let this guy hit my whole life. And one day I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, I don't like this shirt, and I don't like you." Did I bully him? Oh, that's confusing. I said I never met him before in my whole life. I didn't bully him yet. Now that might be a little bit confusing, but honestly, educators, that's just an opportunity to say, Mr. Incredible. Yeah? Yeah? Say that wasn't very nice. I'm sorry, I'm having a bad day. No. Educators, it's truly not bullying until it happens over and over. And sometimes educators disagree with that, and I'll clear it up here in just a second. But so far, it's been mean or it happens over and now here's the big one. I'm going to need a little bit of help. The person that gets bullied or targeted, listen to what word I'm going to use here, teach, has to feel smaller or weaker. Has to feel smaller or weaker on the inside. Now, what is a reason that might make someone feel smaller or weaker on the inside? Like, what's a reason someone might get picked on? For what reason? Oh, that's a great one. Maybe they're taller than everybody else. Now, she said shorter, but I met some people that are taller than other people, and that makes them feel smaller or weaker. Or maybe they're shorter than other people. That might make that person feel smaller or weaker. What do you think, my man? That's a great one. Their body size. Maybe they're skinnier than everybody else. Or maybe they're just heavier than everybody else. That might make some people feel smaller or weaker. And what do you think? Oh, maybe they have different abilities than other people. Sometimes we call those disabilities, but maybe they're just born a different way. Okay, hands down. Okay, I know I didn't pick one of you last time, so what do you think? Oh, wow, I never heard that one before, but that might make someone feel just what she believes in, the way she believes. Some people get picked on for what they believe in. Huh? Okay, I'm sorry. Sometimes I gotta learn those things myself. I appreciate your help. Okay, hands down. This one here is equally fascinating to me, educators. If I went around this room, what you find is that every single individual has something different that might make them feel smaller or weaker on the inside. This one right here, students, is where my perspective changed in the blink of an eye. I remember what happened. Years, probably 7 or 8 years ago now, students, I went to the state of Kentucky. Kentucky, and I had an audience of over 1,000 people. And I was all done presenting. I went backstage to pack up all my stuff, and when I turned around in the doorway was a woman, a teacher, a mother, and she was just looking at me. And as I looked back at her, the tears just ran right down her face. And she said, Tom, I had to take my daughter out of high school because she's so pretty. You hear that, educators? That's exactly what happened to me on the inside. I'm a little bit embarrassed to talk about this in front of teachers. I don't like talking about it in front of teachers. But I'm going to be honest with you, on the inside I was like, darn her luck. And what I wanted to say to this teacher was, you know what, lady? Let me tell you about some students that have some real challenges. I'm sorry your daughter's so pretty. I didn't say that, but that's how I felt on the inside. But then I took the time, educators, to watch that show that came out on Netflix years ago, that 13 Reasons one, and in the blink of an eye, the rest of her sentence came back to me. She said, I had to take my daughter out of high school, she's so pretty. The other girls are ruining her life because of all the attention that she gets. See, I never thought about it like that. But that's a hard thing for a young lady when she's just trying to figure out who she is and someone gives her that label, and she's got to wear it all the way through middle school, all the way through high school. That can be a tough, tough thing. Here's what I've learned, educators, after all these years. This right here, it means anything. Because that's how they feel on the inside. See, we've got to take the time now, educators, to have a great conversation with these young people so they understand that anything can make an individual feel smaller or weaker on the inside. Okay, we got one more, but let's review. So far, it's been me or that was over and the person that feels smaller or last but not least, educators, this one here is mostly for you. This thing called bullying happens now let's see here. Are you a teacher here? You look kind of young too, so I didn't know. Now, you know why young people do everything that they do? I mean, everything. Why they just talk out loud sometimes, why she raised her hand right now. I mean, everything. Why they turn and talk to their friends when I'm trying to talk. You know why? Well, they should have talked to us years ago, teachers. You pay real close attention, teachers. I'm going to tell you why young people do everything they do. Ready for this? You're not going to believe it. Ready? Because they feel like it. That's it. There's no magic to this one, educators. That's the part of their brain that's fully functional right now. These young people operate on their feelings. They talk out loud because they feel like it. They turn and talk to their friends because they feel like it. They raise their hand because they feel like it. But what that also means, educators, and I know most of you know this, but that also means that a lot of these young people here have very difficult things going on at home with their parents, their grandparents, their friends, sometimes even their pets. And sometimes they do come to school, and sometimes they do mean and hurtful things to one another. It doesn't mean they bully a single person. It means they operate on their feelings like they are supposed to. Those are called opportunities to help these young people learn and to grow through those feelings. But not bullying. Students, bullying happens on. Now that we know what this thing is, what in the heck does Christopher Columbus have to do with bullying? I have no idea. But what year did he sail? Does anyone remember what year he sailed? He was just saying. Not you. Was that a teacher? Jiminy Christmas. What year did he sail? Okay, perfect. You must have a good teacher. Anyway, long time ago, educators, in the beginning of the 16th century, a long time ago, about 40 years after Columbus sailed, there was a word that was invented. And the word that I'm talking about is the word bullying. Remember, we just learned what it meant, but that's when it was invented. But you're not going to believe me when I tell you this. Actually, educators, it's going to blow your mind. When the word bully was first invented, it actually meant sweetheart. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Now, let me show you how it was supposed to be used. Now, who plays sports in here? Let's see. I might as well use you. What's your name? What is it? Brittany. Now, just do that. Well, you get older, you forget these things, how to pretend and all that stuff. I just know. Now listen, Brittany, can we pretend to be on the same sports team? What sport do you play? Softball, perfect. Now let's pretend Brittany and I are on the same softball team. I'm going to show you how this word was supposed to be used when it was first invented. Now one day Brittany doesn't come to practice, and I think that's kind of strange because she never misses practice. I saw her in school, and she wasn't sick, she's not hurt, but she didn't come to practice. So it's my job to go home and call her, because I'm the team captain, the best kid in the team. Anyway, I go home and I call her, and I said, Brindley, where were you today? And she says to me on the phone, I quit. I'm terrible. I'm just pretending. Anyway, I say, well, I'm pretending. Anyway, I call her on the phone, and I said, you're not quitting, you're coming back tomorrow. And she said, what? I said, you're coming back tomorrow, I'm going to work with you. And she goes, really? And I said to her on the phone, I said, yeah, I'm going to show you some of my moves, and some of the moves that I'll show you. And she goes, really? I said, yep, you come back, and I'll be there. So she comes back, and I put her right next to me. And you know when she's going a little bit slow, I get right in her face, and I'm like, come on, Brandon, take it out. You got it okay. Come on, let's go. And I push her really, really hard. And she gets real tired. But I see a little smile on her face because she just worked harder than she ever thought she would work in her entire life. And then we get a break, and I show her some of my moves, some of the moves I don't show anybody, and that puts a real big smile on her face. And then practice is over, and she's going to the locker room with everybody else, and I do this. Yo, Brindley, get back out here. You got 50 more right now. Do it. And I make her do it. And then there's another exercise. I make her do that, and another one, and another one. And over and over and over again, I bully her to help make her better, stronger. See, educators, that's the way the word was supposed to be used. Look it up. It is fascinating. But here's the most fascinating thing, teachers. Not one of you would be in this room right now if it wasn't for your 16th century bullies, your sweethearts. You know that person when you didn't feel like going to practice? They said, get your stuff and get in the car, you pick this sport when you felt like quitting? Or maybe you brought that new instrument home and it was real hard and just sat there against the wall and they said, let's go, young lady, I bought that for you to start practicing. Or maybe teachers when you were in college, your life was just kicking your butt and you didn't feel like getting out of bed. She called you up on the phone and said, get your stuff on, I'm coming over, we're going out. Those are your 16th century bullies, educators. You must share that story with these young people. They need to know about the people that changed the trajectory of your lives because none of you would be in this room right now if it wasn't for a handful of people. And I wouldn't be here either, students, if it wasn't for one of my 16th century bullies, one of my sweethearts. And I got to bring him here with me today. And he looks a little bit like that. And I hit him somewhere, and if you see him, say, there he is. I think he's not here in the hallway. But if you see him, say, there he is. And I don't see him down here. I got to check out his bathroom here. And look him out here and see he's coming down the hallway. But he's not here. Where is he? Rick, what? Rick? But you wouldn't be there. This here, students, is my sweetheart. His name is Rick. Now, Rick is pretty different. He's got no ears and no nose. And, his hands are super different. And y'all aren't going to believe this one. He's got a pretty sweet robot. And this here is my sweetheart. His name is Rick. And I certainly wouldn't be here today without him. And Rick wants to talk about two things. Number one, he wants to talk about being different. But number two, he wants to talk about what sweethearts give to everyone. Can you all say hi to Rick?
Morning. How are you all doing? To other people. And by the end of this, you will all see that you have an opportunity to become sweethearts as well. But first, to start this whole thing off, I actually have to ask you a couple of questions. So my first question to you is, how many of you think that I am different? Raise your hand if you think I'm different. Like 10 of you. And there's a few of you who are really not sure how to answer that question. Like hand up, hand down. I get it. Put your hands down. All right. So a lot of you didn't raise your hand. I'm pretty sure I know why most of you didn't raise your hand. You're probably thinking, well, I don't know, maybe it's mean to say, hey, Rick, you're different. Or maybe you're thinking, I don't know Rick that well, and I don't want to hurt his feelings. And maybe I would hurt his feelings if I raised my hand and said that he's different. So maybe that's why you didn't raise your hand. But there's something that I know really, really well about myself. Do you know what that is? I am really different. Like, I know how different I am. Like, my hands and my ears and my nose and my leg, I know that I am different. But I also know something about being different. You know what that is? It's awesome. It's awesome. Being different is awesome. Okay, so now I got another question for you. How many of you think that you are different? Raise your hand if you think you are different. Oh, look at that. Way more hands up this time. So you all think you are more different than I am? There were way more hands up that time. I get it. So some of you still didn't raise your hand, and again, I'm pretty sure I know why some of you didn't raise your hand. You're probably thinking to yourself, okay, Rick just stood up there and said that he's different. And now he's asking if I'm different. If Rick is what different is, that's not me. Like my hands and my ears and my nose and my leg, not like Rick's. Rick just said he's different, so I probably shouldn't raise my hand. Okay, well now, I want you to look at the person you're sitting next to. Do you look like that person? No, you do not. Unless you are a twin, and that does not count. Do you think like the person that you're sitting next to? No, you do. Now, do you want to be the same thing when you grow up as the person you're sitting next to? No, probably not. Probably not. So, in the end, what does that all mean? It means we are all different. Right. Every single one of us that's in this room right now is different in one way or another, and truly, everyone in this world is different in one way or another. And like I said, being different is awesome. Being different is awesome. But a lot of times the person that we actually might see as different, that might also be the person that we see as being smaller or weaker. Right, just like Mr. Incredible said. That might be the person that we don't include in the things that we do. That might be the person that we just let sit by themselves because we say to ourselves, well, hey, they're not like me, they're different. They can't do what I do. But that doesn't make any sense at all. Because you all just admitted to me that you are different as well. So we need to find ways to include that person. We need to find ways to accept that person. And I know someone that does that for everyone. I know someone that includes everyone. I know someone that accepts everyone. And that's Sweethearts. Sweethearts include everybody and they accept everybody, and they usually do it by giving people something. I'm going to tell you what that something is in a second. But first, I got to tell you something else about myself, something that I have not told you yet, but there's no way I could leave here without telling you. But I actually used to be a... Anybody know what I used to be? What I used to be? No, not a donkey. Veterinarian. That's a good one. I used to be a soldier. So yeah, I heard a lot of people say veteran. That's what I am today. But I used to be a soldier. But does that look like me anymore? No, it does not. Because when I was a soldier, I got hurt. I obviously got hurt really bad. Actually, after I got hurt, I ended up in a hospital for 6 months. So for half of the year, I spent in the hospital recovering from my injuries. And do you know what I needed a lot of when I was in that hospital? Sweethearts. I needed a lot of sweethearts because what did Mr. Incredible say sweethearts do for people? They push them over and over and over again, or they bully them over and over and over again to make them better. You think I needed help getting better? I sure did. I needed a lot of help getting better. I think about it like this. When I was in that hospital, do you think I was in a lot of pain?
Yeah.
I was in a lot of pain. There were days that I was in so much pain, I didn't want to get out of bed and do the things that I was supposed to do to get better. I mean, the pain was just too much. But it didn't matter how much pain I was in. My physical therapist, they would still come into my room every single day. And they would say, hey Rick, I know you're dealing with a lot right now. I know you are in so much pain, but you got to get out of that bed. Let's go. And they would push me over and over and over again. Truly, they would bully me over and over and over again. But it was to make me better. Now, do you think I liked those people on those days? No, I did not. Do you think I like those people today? Yes, I do. I love those people today because I know that I wouldn't be who I am today or where I am today in my life if it wasn't for those people, if it wasn't for those 16th century bullies. Now, they weren't just pushing me. They weren't just bullying me that old school way. They were actually giving me something. They were giving me this thing called hope, because that's what sweethearts give to other people. They give hope to other people. And I needed a lot of that hope when I was in that hospital. I needed a lot of those sweethearts. Then after 6 months, I got out of that hospital. And do you think when I got out of the hospital, I was just magically doing better? No. I was still struggling. Like physically, sure, I was doing better, good enough to get out of the hospital, but mentally, I was a mess. Mentally, I was really struggling because now I had to go out in public for the first time. And do you think when I went out in public for the first time, do you think people were surprised by what they saw when they saw me? Yes. Everyone was surprised by what they saw when they saw me. Every single person was staring at me, which honestly, I can deal with. I understand why people stare, and I'm guilty of it as well. Like staring is looking longer than we should a lot of the times, and a lot of times we do that because we're seeing something for the first time. We're seeing something new. We're trying to figure out what we're seeing or why we're seeing it. Now, we do have to be careful about it for sure, but that's why we do it. That's not why I was struggling. That's not why I felt hopeless when I left the hospital. What I was really having a hard time with was the fact that little kids, 5 and 6 years old, do you think when they saw me for the first time, they were just surprised by what they were seeing? No. You don't think they were just staring at me? No. They were afraid of me. It was very obvious to me that they were afraid of me. I would actually even use the word terrified of me. I said it was obvious because as soon as they saw me, they would hide behind their parents' legs or they would just straight up run away. And it got to the point where I was asking myself, like, why do I even leave home? Like, I don't want to scare children, but every time I go out in public, I am. You should just stay home. That's a pretty hopeless feeling when you don't want to leave your own home because you're afraid you're going to scare children. At that time in my life, I needed help. Truly, what I needed was hope. And I needed somebody to give me that hope because I had no idea how to get it back on my own that early on in my recovery. So one day, I actually went to a restaurant with my brother. And I was still in my wheelchair at the time. I wheel up to a table, and there was a table across from me with a family sitting at it. And in that family, there was a little girl, about 5 or 6 years old. And of course, she's sitting on the side of the table where she's facing me. So do you think she's staring at me? Yes. Everybody in the restaurant was. It didn't matter if they were 5 or 55. Everybody was trying to figure out, I wonder what happens to that. So yeah, she was staring at me. Now, do you think she was afraid of me? She was. I could see the fear in her eyes. Now, she was sitting right next to her grandfather, and her grandfather saw exactly what I saw. He saw that she was staring at me, and he also saw that she was afraid of me. Then he did something that I did not expect. He actually leaned down close to her, and he quietly whispered to her, "Go say hi to me." He wanted his granddaughter to come over and say hello to me, putting her in a very uncomfortable situation. Do you think she came over? No, she did not. She was too afraid. She didn't want to come over, and I was okay with that because I didn't know that anyway, so I was glad she didn't come. But the grandfather didn't give up. He actually said it again. Go say hi to me. And this time, that little girl, she did start to come over to me. I did not want her coming all the way over to my table. Like, I knew how uncomfortable she was. I didn't want to make it worse for her. So when she got about halfway over to my table, as nicely as I could say to her, I said, "Hey, how you doing?" But as soon as that first word came out of my mouth, she stopped dead in her tracks. Honestly, it was like she saw a monster. And she turned around and she ran back to her grandpa as fast as she could. And I'm like, you know what, Rick? Just get used to it. Just deal with it. Just figure it out. Like, you're going to look different for the rest of your life. So kids will always be afraid of you. Just deal with it. But that early on in my recovery, I didn't know how to just deal with it or just figure it out. Again, I needed help. I needed hope. So that little girl, she ran away from me, and she got back to her grandpa, and she looked at him, and she said, "Grandpa, he's really nice. He's really nice." That is not what I thought she was going to say. You know what else? That's not what you thought she was going to say either. We all thought she would say something a little different, I'm sure. I'm sure we were thinking she'd get back to her grandpa and she would say, "Grandpa, he's really scared." And that's not what happened. In that moment of hopelessness for me, that little girl, who again was only 5 or 6 years old, she came over to me and she gave me so much hope, I didn't know what to do with it all. And when she did that, she changed my life forever. That is a fact. That is a guarantee. That little girl who had no clue what she was capable of, who had no clue that she carried hope with her that she could give to other people, came over to me and gave me that hope. I didn't even know she was capable of that, but she did. And when she gave me that hope that day, that's when I realized the hope she gave me, it's the same exact hope that every single one of us in this room right now carries with us every day of our lives. The same hope that changed my life forever is the same hope that you carry, that you can give to other people. And when you give it to other people, you can change their lives forever. Now, can I make you give that hope that you carry to other people?
Yeah.
No, I cannot. I cannot make you do anything. This is something that you have to choose to do. You have to choose to give hope. You have to choose to become one of these sweethearts. You have to choose to change somebody's life forever. And when you do these things, you will have a part of changing this world as well. So today I'm here to just ask you, give hope. Become a sweetheart. Change the world in the process of doing all of those things. Thank you all very much for being an absolutely amazing audience this morning. Thank you all.
That right there is what Rich is a sweetheart of mine, because he taught me that I have that same hope inside that I can give to anyone. And I might just change someone's life as well. Now the other reason I came here was to talk about these folks that are called super. Now you're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but it's the truth. But I actually went to superhero school. I did, it's a thing, okay? I actually went to superhero school. When I got there, they said, when I got there, they told me, they said, Mr. Incredible, you got to go back there and teach this to the teachers, because they forgot this thing that heroes do. They still remember, educators, this thing that heroes do called jumping into. You hear that, educator? They still know this one. Called jumping into. Educators, pay real close attention. We need your help with this part of the formula. This is very, very important. We know these young people, educators, who jump into action and intervene when other young people are being treated the wrong way less than 10% of the time. Most people say, most studies say it's about 4% of the time that they actually intervene and try to stop those things from happening. But there's this magic window, and I learned this one really from the movies, them superhero movies. You know what I mean? At the end, when the superhero jumps into action, it lasts 10 seconds. How many? I call it the moment. You know what I mean in those movies. Educators, young people can be taught and can practice jumping into action within the first 10 seconds of seeing someone not being treated the right way. The science is very clear. They can be successful almost 60% of the time. If they do it within how many seconds? Now they told me at superhero school I had to come back and teach this to the teachers because sometimes they forget how to play a little bit. Just a little bit. That's right. Now the other thing in superhero school, not going to believe me when I tell you this, but they actually gave me some superpowers. They did. I'm going to. Anyway, when I got there, I was like, I can't do any real superpowers. And they said, don't worry about it, Mr. Incredible. We're just going to give you the old starter pack of superpowers. And I was like, the starter pack? And they're like, yeah, don't you watch all the movies? I said, of course I do. And they said, well, you'll recognize these ones because they're as easy as the ABCs. I told you we were coming back to these ones here at the end, educators. Now, y'all know the ABCs? Shoot, then you're going to be able to do these superpowers as well. Now, if any of you educators in this room and you're new to this great sport of education, let me give you a free lesson. It's always better to show young people than not. Tell them, that's a real good lesson right there. That means I need a volunteer. I need a helper. Let's see here. I got to find the right one for this one here. Let's see here. I know what I'm looking for. I got to find the right one. It might be the right one, but that's not the right one. I think it's got to be you. I'm sorry, I know what I'm doing here. What I already did you, right? No. Yeah, I did say no. That's why I thought you was the right one. I know what I'm doing. What are you doing? You can't put your hand up twice. I know what I'm doing. Rick, help me out here. I know what I'm looking for. I know. Yeah, that one right there. I like your stockings too. I know what I'm doing, okay? They told me, they said the next time you see someone being mean to someone, they said you don't have to talk to those people being mean to him. They said just do what every superhero does first. If they watch the movies, they'll recognize the educators. They said, fly over there. Don't talk to the people being mean to Anna. They said just do what every superhero does first. They said just fly over there and take the person away. You know how they do that, Anna? They watch superhero movies. What's the first thing a hero does when someone's in danger? Flying and take the person away. Could you do that? Like if you saw someone being treated the wrong way, could you fly over there and say, hey, could you show me where the principal's at? And take them away. You could ask them to watch a movie, to play a game, something like that. Could you do that? Okay, perfect. You want to practice that one with me? Okay, perfect. Now, Anna, what do superheroes wear? Oh, yeah. Teachers, there's two better reasons young people don't jump into action. Number one, they feel silly or ridiculous. Y'all didn't realize what all them silly costumes were about. You hear that, educators? It's hard to look silly in front of your friends, especially as you get older. Don't underestimate vulnerability, educators. It's very, very difficult for you. Why wouldn't it be hard for a young person? You gotta get your head bigger, man. Well, you can. We're all fixed. Just hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. All right. Just push your head to the floor. Push it down. Now listen. I'm going to go over there and be real mean to Rick, but I'm just pretending. You got to jump into action within how many seconds? 10. That's right. And you don't even have to talk to me. You can just fly right by me and take Rick away. Just hold on. I got to get one more thing. Now, Anna, this here is what I call my bully hat. You get it? It's like a bad dad joke, but anyway. Now, did y'all see that movie, The Incredibles? And that's my favorite movie. But my favorite part is when old Mr. Incredible landed on a big island to fight the robot. Remember what he said? He said it's showtime. Right? What'd I tell you about wearing that stupid pink shirt? I said the next time you did, I was going to rip it off you, throw it in the trash. No one's going to help you. Teachers, educators, you just watched the first ever bully drill. We do fire drills with young people to teach them life-saving skills. Can you imagine, teachers, if we raised a generation of young people that practice jumping into action? Where would they be? Just like every other basic skill in education, they'd be able to save anyone almost any single time. Now, my friend Anna did a great job here. I can see the joy in this one. But she jumped right into action. I didn't have to call her over. And she went right over there, blew right past me, didn't even pay attention to me. And she did something that some kids don't do. Rick's hands looked a little bit scary to some students, but not for old Annie. She just went right over there, grabbed his hand, and took me away. Didn't you watch the movie Incredibles? The King. You know what I'm talking about? No, James. Hey, give me that big hand. Someone's throwing you out. Someone's throwing you out. I know what I'm doing, okay? I don't know what Are you from the school? Oh, okay. I know what I'm doing here. All right, I'm a trained professional. Now, what's your name? Oh! Yeah. It doesn't matter. Anyway, Mr. Clever, nice to meet you. Ow! Now, what ladder do you think the next one begins with? I knew you could get it. Now, I gotta ask you a serious question. You have any buddies? Name one. CJ. Okay, now listen. Now, if you came in here and CJ was sitting over there crying because someone hurt CJ's feelings, would you know what to do? It's a yes or no. Yes? Okay, because you know what movies CJ likes to watch, games CJ likes to play, all that kind of stuff. So you know exactly what to do to cheer him up. Right? Now, some people don't think this one's a real superpower, becoming someone's buddy, but I know it is because I saw it in the movies. Now, do you think that old Superman would fly up to somebody that's falling from a building and do this? Ooh! I'm gonna let this one hit the street. No! Because all those superheroes treat everyone like it's one of their buddies. Now, do you think that you could pretend that this is CJ? Does that look like CJ? No, but could you pretend it is? Okay, so this time, Anna, you don't get there in time, so you can't take Rick away. You have to wait for me to walk away, and after I do, you just fly over there and do whatever you would do to cheer up CJ. You want to try this one? Okay. Don't underestimate vulnerability, educators. It's a hard thing for young people. Just push your head forward. All right, quiet in the set, please. Quiet in the set. And old Mr. Incredible said, "It's." Oh, come on, it's. Rick! What I tell you about wearing stupid black pants? I said only weirdos wear black pants, Rick. Yes, no, I will!
It's what you said. It makes no sense.
What I meant was, you're never gonna be friends the rest of your life. Shh! Let's see what she does.
Let's go watch Dune.
You're inviting me to watch a movie with you? In Dune?
Yeah.
First or second?
Second one.
Alright, cool. I watch that. Yeah. Listen, but wait a minute. He's mean to me every single day. And now he's hiding behind a hat. That makes about as much sense as me wearing black pants. He's mean to me every day. Nobody ever does anything about it. So you coming over just talking to me means a lot. Asking me to watch Dune 2, super cool. Does that mean maybe we could also be buddies? Sweet.
Whoa, give her a big. I knew I picked the right one here, and she came over there with a light. I like this one voice, you know. She wasn't bouncy, she wasn't quiet, she just came right over. And maybe she knew that might have been there in his favorite movies, or maybe he saw the first one and she just went right over. She said, "What am I doing?" Because maybe it's something that she thinks that CJ might like to do. She did a great job making Rick one of her buddies. Give her a big hand. One more helper for my last superpower. What school didn't I use that though? What school didn't I use that? I don't know what school. Cavendish, where's Cavendish? Right here. I know what I'm doing. I got to see just Cavendish. This is Cavendish. I know what I'm doing. I gotta look though. I gotta see the face on it. Jeez. All right, fine. Let's go. I'm sorry, man. I didn't get you. This guy wasn't even smiling, so I gotta see what's going on here. Now hold on a minute. Now, what's your name? Huh? Ben? All right. You guys sit down and get this one wrong. What letter do you think the last one begins with? You need to get it. Now, Ben, I gotta ask you a serious question. This is serious stuff. You know how they do it? With their own superpower. Now some young people don't think they got superpowers, educators, but that's not true. You know that kid that talks too much? That's probably their superpower. You know that kid that's real distracted? Huh? Teachers? That's definitely their superpower. And I learned this one by watching the movies, because all those young superheroes are always ruining things with their powers when they first start to use them. You know what I mean? Like Hulk is smashing everything, and Cyclops is burning everything up. What I've learned, educators, these young people, they already got their own superpowers, and you know exactly what they are. Because most of the time, they're ruining things with their powers when they try and use them. Educators, don't try and change these young people. It's what makes them an individual. See, your job, teachers, is to teach these young people how to use their individual superpower for good and for truth and for justice. That's your job. Now, Bennett, I don't know what your real superpower is, but you have to confront the situation your own way. You know who the situation is? Me. So you got to try and get me to stop. But you can't hit me, right? Now listen, I know, I'm suppressed. Now listen, bro, pay attention. Now listen, you're not allowed to take Rick away. You can't be his buddy yet. You don't have those superpowers. You got to try and get me to stop. But if it doesn't work, you're going to have to do what Superman did at the end of that one movie. Remember when he had to call Batman for help? Yeah. Anyway, now listen. Now just hold on a minute. Now listen, if it doesn't work, you're going to have to, because you can't take it away. You're going to have to go get someone to help you, like a teacher or a friend. But anyway, you ready for this one? Okay, perfect. I believe it. in different schools, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, but whatever y'all are doing with these young people, keep doing it, because it was a tremendous group of young people. You should be very proud of these young people, educators. But we learned about this thing called bullying. It's being mean or happens over and the first that's the smaller or happens on. And what's that thing inside that Rick said that sweethearts give to other people? That thing called hope. That's right. And then we guys get some superpowers. And every single one of you, if you use those superpowers and you jump in action within how many seconds? I promise you, you'll become someone's hero. Last words for you, educators. None of these base skills matter unless they practice. Like every other base skill in education, you cannot expect